Welcome to Moody's One-Shot Lore. I'm your narrator, and I'll be guiding you through the tales from Contentium Academy. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow all our social media channels below to stay updated on the latest stories. Let's dive into this intriguing world together. Moody's screams echoed throughout the entire campus. Eater checked his security cameras in the lab and saw Moody transforming into a monstrous form. Eater quickly messaged Hanzo and Blair to wear down Moody. Hanzo and Blair rushed into Eater's lab and saw Moody's monstrous form, his muscles bulging and eyes glowing with an eerie light. "So this is the student Eater wanted us to watch over," Blair said sarcastically, eyeing Moody's transformation. "We must protect the child," Hanzo said, determination in his voice. They both charged at Moody, who screamed in rage. Hanzo hit Moody hard with powerful blows, his fists moving like a blur. Each punch landed with a thunderous impact, but Moody didn't even flinch. With a roar, Moody swung his massive arm and knocked Hanzo away, sending him crashing into the lab equipment. "Well, that's not good," Blair said, her eyes narrowing as she assessed the situation. "Miss Knight, Moody just learned to fuse. I don't think his body can handle that form for long. Wear him down," Eater said over the intercom in the lab. "Understood," Blair replied, her voice steady. Moody focused on attacking Blair, but she dodged every attack with agile flips and swift movements. She darted around him, her movements graceful and precise. The more she dodged, the angrier Moody became. His attacks grew faster, more erratic, as he charged at her, missing and crashing through the wall, landing outside in the courtyard. The students looked at Moody in terror as he let out a monstrous roar. "Not the kids!" Blair shouted. She jumped outside and stood between Moody and the students, her stance protective. Moody charged and threw a monstrous punch, his fist moving with the force of a wrecking ball. Blair braced herself, but at the last moment, Hanzo appeared, taking the punch head-on. The impact sent shockwaves through the ground, but Hanzo stood firm, absorbing the blow. "Eater, this is getting bad. We can't protect all the students," Hanzo screamed into the comm in his ear, his voice strained from the effort. Just then, the whole wall started collapsing, about to crush a student. Moody's eyes widened in horror. In a split second, he rushed over and saved the girl, shielding her with his body. Blair and Hanzo were in shock, their eyes wide with disbelief. Moody stood over the student, looking at her with a mix of confusion and rage. He started screaming at her in a fit of uncontrollable emotion. Suddenly, Moody was shot in the head by Flint Strand, who stood on the rooftop, his rifle still smoking. "What did you do?" Blair screamed at Flint, fury in her eyes. "What I had to," Flint replied coldly. Just then, Moody and Taz unfused, and Moody collapsed, but was still alive. Hanzo quickly picked up Moody and rushed him to the doctor. After everything had calmed down, Blair, Flint, Hanzo, and Eater all met up to discuss what happened. Just then, Donovan Blake showed up with the police. "I warned you," Donovan told Eater. "He can't stay here. Throw him out." "The boy is dangerous and almost got students hurt," Donovan said with a smug smile. "Like you care about any of the students," Eater snapped. "I agree with Donovan," Flint said, his voice steady. "If he stays here, we run the risk of all the students getting hurt." Eater knew this was bad and looked defeated, knowing this was the end. Blair looked and saw Eater's face filled with worry and sadness. "That's not a good idea. If we kick him out, who's to say he won't train to use that power, come back when he masters it, and take revenge on the academy?" Blair argued. "If he leaves, I will go and train him to use the power," Hanzo said firmly. "I'll go too. I don't want to abandon the child," Blair said with a smile, knowing Donovan wouldn't want her to leave. Donovan's face turned to sadness at the thought of Blair leaving the academy. He thought for a moment and said, "Maybe it will be safer for us to keep an eye on the boy, but just be warned, if he harms one student, it's on your heads." Donovan walked out, leaving the room tense. Eater let out a sigh of relief and said, "Thank you, Blair and Hanzo." "We will always protect our students," Hanzo said resolutely. "Well, some of us," Blair said, glaring at Flint. "I'm here for one reason, and if the child might be a problem for my reason for being here, then I don't care what happens to him," Flint said, leaving the room without looking back. "Don't worry, Eater. Nothing will happen to Moody when we are around," Blair reassured him with a smile. Eater smiled, grateful that Moody was able to stay at the academy.
And I'm good with goodbyes. Better straighten out your face while you study your lies. See the pain in your face when you losing your mind. Got post-traumatic stress, you lost the feeling in highs. See the horrors of war. If you saw someone dying, would you open the door? On my job, highlighting the core. My words bless you, yes, you feeling annoying. Everybody wanna ramble, they don't get to the point. Your girl like a clown.